In my previous video, I had told how immigrants are dominating many countries, and it was also told that the economy of those countries may collapse if the immigrants leave those countries. And that is why many countries do not want these immigrants to leave. But friends, in today's video, I am going to tell you which are the countries which are expelling immigrants from their country. And what is the reason behind this? Why these countries want immigrants to move out, whereas the departure of immigrants can make a huge difference to their economy, and may even cause their economy to collapse. I think there can be many reasons behind this, like adulteration in the culture of these countries, and there is one very big reason which is probably the biggest. And that is the decrease in jobs due to immigrants. That country is not able to provide jobs to its own countrymen, because people from outside have started working in these countries on a large scale. If you are also from those countries, where the number of immigrants is high, then you can understand this thing. Well, there are many other reasons due to which these countries are expelling immigrants. So let us now know which countries they are, and why they are showing the way out to immigrants. I have included 5 countries in this. If you feel that I have included any wrong country, then you can tell me. So our first country is United States. The United States has long been viewed as a land of opportunity, but recent years have seen a dramatic shift in its immigration policies. Families who once arrived with dreams of a better life now face the harsh reality of deportation and separation. One immigrant father reflects on his journey, expressing, "When we arrived, we believed we could build a future. My children deserve safety and opportunities. But every day, I fear what could happen to us." This sentiment echoes throughout immigrant communities, as heightened enforcement measures have left many living in fear. The "Remain in Mexico" policy and various executive orders have led to increased deportations, with nearly 200,000 individuals removed in just 1 year. Each number represents a life turned upside down, a family torn apart. Community leaders work tirelessly to provide support, yet many families hesitate to seek help, fearing that their actions might expose them to deportation. An immigration lawyer notes, the emotional toll on families is staggering. Many parents worry their children will grow up without them. There are many other reasons why the United States is deporting immigrants, like illegal entry. Immigrants who have entered without documents are also being deported. There is another very big reason for deportation, which is, if an immigrant is found to have provided false information on their application or during interviews, this can lead to deportation. So friends, now let us move on to our next country, which is Italy. A country rich in cultural heritage and historical migration, is experiencing a rise in anti-immigrant sentiment. The arrival of boats filled with migrants seeking refuge often meets resistance from local authorities and segments of the population. An NGO worker on the frontline shares, "We see many migrants arriving daily, fleeing conflict and poverty. Instead of being welcomed, they often face hostility and rejection. Stricter immigration laws have transformed the landscape for asylum seekers. Refugees are now frequently met with barriers rather than open arms." In a refugee camp, a young man from Syria shares his painful journey, stating, "We risked everything to reach here. Instead of finding shelter, we are treated like criminals." Humanitarian organizations strive to help, yet the prevailing political climate often prioritizes expulsion over compassion. Activists rally to remind the government of Italy's historical role as a refuge, emphasizing that every migrant has a story worth hearing. The heart of the issue lies in balancing national security with the need for humanity in a world rife with displacement. Well, sometimes I don't understand anything about Italy. Sometimes they offer people from outside countries to come and live in their country, so that the population of their country increases. And on the other hand, they create such conditions for the immigrants, due to which they have to leave this country. No problem, all countries take such steps only for their own welfare. So now our next country is Hungary. In Hungary, the narrative surrounding immigration has shifted dramatically. Once a haven for those in need, the country has adopted stringent measures to control its borders. A local journalist explains, the government's rhetoric emphasizes security over compassion, framing immigrants as a threat rather than as individuals deserving protection. In 2016, Hungary erected fences along its borders and enacted laws making it increasingly difficult for asylum seekers to gain entry. A former refugee recalls, "We came seeking safety, but we found barriers. It feels like we're not wanted here." The pain of rejection resonates deeply within these communities, where many feel marginalized. Citizens express a longing for a more humane approach. One Hungarian citizen states, "I understand the need for security, but we must not lose our humanity in the process." Every immigrant has a face, a name, a story. The struggle between national pride and the moral obligation to protect those in need continues to shape the immigration landscape. So our next country is Australia. I think it's the people of Australia, not Australia, who are most troubled by immigrants. Because they feel that they face a lot of difficulty in getting a job because of outsiders. They feel that all the jobs are being taken over by outsiders. So that's why they don't like immigrants. And the views of the country are not much different, let me tell you. Australia's immigration policies, particularly regarding asylum seekers arriving by boat, have garnered international scrutiny. Many individuals fleeing violence and persecution find themselves in dire circumstances. An asylum seeker shares, "We thought Australia would be our safe haven, but instead, we found detention." The government's offshore processing centers have drawn widespread condemnation, as many asylum seekers endure harsh conditions. A human rights advocate notes, "We are failing to uphold our obligations." Many of these individuals are traumatized and in desperate need of support. Over the past decade, thousands have been detained, their hopes for safety dashed by bureaucratic obstacles. Advocates rally for change, asserting, "We must advocate for humane treatment. No one should be punished for seeking safety." The stories of those affected highlight the human cost of strict immigration policies, emphasizing the need for compassion and understanding in a country known for its diverse society. So our last country is Brazil. Finally, Brazil faces its own challenges as it grapples with a tightening of immigration controls, particularly against Venezuelan migrants fleeing economic collapse. While Brazil has historically been a refuge for those in need, recent political shifts have led to increased xenophobia. A community leader states, "We are witnessing a humanitarian crisis. People fleeing should receive our support, not rejection." Recent developments have created an environment where many migrants feel unwelcome. A Venezuelan migrant shares their struggle, "We left our country with nothing. Now we face hostility in a place we hoped would welcome us." Local NGOs work diligently to provide assistance, but as the climate changes, their efforts become increasingly difficult. Despite these challenges, many continue to advocate for humane treatment and understanding, recognizing that each migrant represents a story of resilience and hope. The need for solidarity and compassion has never been more pressing in a world where displacement is a growing reality. So these were the 5 countries which are deporting immigrants. I have also told you the reason why these countries are expelling immigrants. Well, there is not much fault of these countries. If there is a problem, then action has to be taken. But friends, we should also think that, if people from other countries are coming to you, then they too will have some compulsion. Those people too are probably forced to leave their country, and live in another country for their better future. So friends, that's all in today's video. If you think I have made any mistake, then please tell me in the comments. And if you liked this video, then subscribe the channel. I will meet you in the next video.